ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, a few prayers specifically for our Bhagavad study. Put your hands together. If you know the prayers, please say them with me. If not, please listen attentively. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकीम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय Govindaya Namo Namaha. And now here are two verses that I would like all of you to repeat after me. Okay? Sada Sevya Shrimad Bhagavati Katha Yasya Shravana Matrena Harischittam Samashrayet. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। तप्त जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। सदा सेव्य श्रीमद्भागवती कथा यस्य श्रवणमात्रेण हरिश्चित्तं समाश्रयेत्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Hare Krishna, thank you all for joining. Last week, we concluded that section where we were talking about the stages that bhakti goes through. So please help me, what does it start with?
Shraddha.
Okay, Shraddha definitely, but what do we have before Shraddha? How do we get Shraddha?
Satam Kripa.
Excellent. Satam Kripa. And Satam Kripa is followed by
Mahat Seva.
महत सेवा, किसी महान इंसान का, किसी डिवोटी का, somebody who is related to God, आपको उनकी सेवा करने का मौका मिलता है, right? We get a chance to offer a little bit of service to somebody who is connected with God. So it starts with Kripa is followed by Seva, because of which we develop Shraddha. Once we have Shraddha, what do we go looking for?
Sadhu Sangha.
Sadhu Sangha. And in Sadhu Sangha, what do we do?
We speak about the God, find the association.
Absolutely. So what is speaking about the Lord called?
Kirtan.
Bhajan Kriya. Bhajan Kriya. Right? Bhajan Kriya. Now because we are doing Bhajan Kriya, right? Because we are chanting, because we are singing, because we are glorifying the Lord, what happens? Anartha nivritti. Everything that has no meaning in my life will dheere dheere start going away. Kama, krodha, moha, lobha, right? All of this, dheere dheere, it will start exiting from my life. As my anarthas go, there is place in my heart, right? So over there, what comes and sits? Nishtha, right? Firm Shraddha is called Nishtha. Now we are not dagmag in our bhakti. Now if somebody comes and says, yaar, ye jo tum kar rahe ho na, this is all rubbish. You say, yaar, it's okay. Good for you, good for me. Let's do our own thing. Right? Nishtha. Nishtha ke baad रुचि, रुचि के बाद आसक्ति, firm attachment, followed by bhav, and finally prem. Darshanam harir madhurya anubhav. Right? And God is so gracious that we are far from the prem level. And yet, in our lives, we keep experiencing Harer Madhurya Anubhav. In little trips that we take, in little things that we do around the house, we experience God, we experience God's hand. Don't we? So many times you think, yaar, I don't know how this happened. Bhagwan ki kripa, right? That mercy that we experience, Anubhav kar rahe hain Bhagwan ka Madhurya. Right? All right. Then last week we saw that this Lord, he is so compassionate, right? He's fully transcendental. He does not belong to this material world. He's above it all. And yet, out of compassion, he enters the world through the gunas so that we can find him, right? He's above Satogun, he's above Rajogun, and he's above Tamogun. But he accepts forms which are associated with these gunas so that the universe can function. So that same Supreme Lord, he becomes Brahma to create. He becomes Vishnu to sustain and to maintain, to uplift us. And he becomes Shiva to dissolve it all at the end. Right? So these are roles that he performs through the gunas. He himself is untouched. Right? So the Bhagavad tells us that out of these three gunas, right, the one gun which will actually help our growth, our spiritual upliftment, that gun that will give us Shreyas is the Satogun. And therefore, get connected with the Lord of Satogun, which is Vishnuji. Because Sattva gives us clarity. Sattva gives us peace. It gives us balance, right? It helps us accept truth. And Vishnu embodies these qualities. When we turn to Vishnu, who is the Lord of Satogun, we will become calm. We will become clean. We will become receptive to this knowledge. Right? But the Bhagavad also understands that we are not always in Satogun, and so it gave us that analogy. Right? कि कभी wood जैसे है हम पूरे तमोगुण में भरे हुए. Right? We all feel heavy and lazy and ignorant. Right? We are like wood. Sometimes we are like smoke. है ना? Very unclear about what we want in life, but बस जिए जा रहे हैं. Right? We are restless, we are full of desires, we are full of passion. Sometimes we are like that. And sometimes, very, very rarely, are we completely serene, like fire. We are actually there, very clear about our purpose. Bhagavad says, don't worry about it, but always keep in mind that we need to rise from Tamogun to Rajogun, from Rajogun to Satogun. When we are in Satogun, we will start understanding what our spiritual goal is. We cannot understand it in the other gunas. Right? We will get our spiritual vision ka clarity when we are in Satogun. Okay? So God does not tell us that we have to be perfect when we reach him. Immediately he says, jab tak tum perfect nahi ho, tab tak tum aa nahi sakte. He doesn't say that. He says, I understand that most of you are most of the time in Tamogun, a little bit of the time in Rajogun, and very slightly in Satogun. Does not matter. He says, whenever you experience that little Satogun, at that time, chant a little mantra. Chant one sincere prayer. One moment of remembrance. Right? And that one spark of Satogun will be able to dhire help us get rid of the smoke of Rajogun and will get us out of our denseness, our laziness of Tamogun. Okay? So we have to know that Bhagwan jo hai, he's above the gunas. But he is coming down in Satogun. And he's telling us कि तुम इधर नीचे हो, तमोगुण में तुम थोड़ा सा उठो. So we will both meet at Satogun. And from Satogun, I will pull you up. So please remember that it's very important for us to push ourselves to Satogun. Because that is going to be the meeting place of God. है ना, वो बेचारे शुद्ध सत्व विशुद्ध सत्व से नीचे आ रहे हैं हमारे लिए. So it's our job to reach up to him, rise through the gunas, so that we can meet him at this particular place where there will be clarity, where there will be purity, and where we will experience devotion. When we are in Satogun, our heart is calm. It is not demanding anything from God. It's simply seeing God. It's feeling God. It's remembering God. Right? So every moment in your life, when you experience that remembrance of God, remember you're in Satogun and therefore you're in touch with God. भगवान उतरे हैं ना आपका हाथ पकड़ने के लिए. So every time you say, thank you God. Every time you say, wow, I like this shlok. Every time you read one little translation, remember he has descended, so he's holding your hand. And at that point, because we are receiving grace, at that point, all this noise of Rajogun vanishes. This whole fog of Tamogun vanishes. Right? Therefore, we should try our best to always connect with that Lord of Satogun, Shri Vishnu. When we turn to him, all auspiciousness will follow. Nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu. Everything that is abhadra will go away from our lives. Right? In Satogun, we will be able to see Brahman, which means we will be able to see him in every aspect of our existence. So, before we go ahead, it is said in Satogun, we will see Brahman. Then, when we persist in Satogun, when we start making that Satoguni time a little longer in our life, then we get into Bhakti. In Bhakti, we are able to see Bhagwan. And then when we stay on that journey, that is when we will surrender. And in that surrender, we experience his love. Okay? Harer Madhurya Anubhav. Okay. So now that's a little recap from last week. We will start with today's. Verse number 25. We're doing Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse number 25. Please unmute and repeat after me. Bhejire munayothyagre Bhagavantam adhokshajam Sattvam vishuddham kshemaya Kalpante yenutaniha. Okay, so this is a very instructive verse. Even in our material lives, if we want to achieve something, we do what seniors before us have done. Correct? If you want to learn tennis, you go to a coach and you do what he says. If you want to learn music, you go to a music, visharad, and you request them to guide you on the path. Similarly, even when we're trying to go ahead in our spiritual journey, we must follow what seniors have done before. So senior kaun hai? Munaya, right? The munis, the sages. These sages they worshipped the Supreme Lord, who is Adhokshaja. Did I share the meaning of the word Adhokshaja in this session, in this class? Anyone knows what the word Adhokshaja means? Very interesting. I kind of find that this class is a little more interested in all this. So I will share this with you. Very nice word, Adhokshaja. A to Akshaja is all the letters of the alphabet. It's like Amazon, right? A to Z. We deliver everything A to Z. Correct? That is what Amazon tells us. A to Z तुमको जो चाहिए हम लोग deliver करते हैं. So Akshaja means everything from A to Ksha. Right? All the alphabets. But can Amazon deliver what is beyond A to Z? Can Amazon deliver peace? Can Amazon deliver happiness? It can give you ice cream and say, well, this is happiness. But true happiness, which is abstract, Amazon cannot deliver. So anything which is Akshaja, right, cannot give us contentment, cannot give us peace, cannot give us mercy, right? Anything which is Akshaja will keep us in this material world. Anything which is above Akshaja, Adhokshaja, can actually give us what does not belong to this world. So Sat, Chit, Ananda does not belong to the material world. Because material world, jo Akshaj hai, sorry, it is Asat, it is not Chit, and it is Dukhalayam. Anand kahan se aaya? So Akshaja is everything that is part of this material world. And Adhokshaja is that which is beyond the material world. So we have to have this guarantee that it is He and He alone who can give us what is beyond this material world. If I want to get back to that stage of Sat Chit Ananda, whatever I do in this material world is insufficient. I have to stay in contact with He who's beyond the material world. Okay, so Adhokshaja, I think it is one of my favorite names for Krishna. Adhokshaja, Uttama Shloka, these are some of my favorite names. Okay, so anyways, so this Adhokshaja is who these Munis worshipped. Why did they worship Adhokshaja? Because look at that third section of the verse. Sattvam Vishuddham Kshemaya. Please highlight those three words. Sattvam Vishuddham. He is not just in Satogun. He is beyond Satogun. He is not in Satogun. He is in Vishuddha Sattva. Even Satogun is part of the material world. All the gunas come from Prakriti, and Prakriti is a part of material world. Right? The Tamogun, Rajogun, Satogun are all part of this material world. He is above Satogun. He is in Vishuddha Sattva. He does not even have the faults of Satogun, and he is Kshemaya. Kshemaya. What is the word Kshemaya? Anyone remembers this? Somebody who cares about your real welfare. Somebody who gives you only that which is essential for your spiritual growth. Yogak Shemam Vahamyaham. Do we remember that line from the Bhagavad Gita? So Yogak Shemam Vahamyaham is a promise, not that I will keep giving you money, I will keep giving you cars, and I'll keep giving you jewelry. He says, I will protect what you have and I will give you what you need. That is the meaning of Yogak Shemam Vahamyaham. But what does he give? He gives what is essential for your spiritual growth. What does he protect? He protects your spiritual assets. Right? So we have to not hold God to material promises. All of his promises are spiritual promises. So Kshema is that. He is somebody who gives us everything that we need so that we can go towards liberation. So the Munis, they worshipped that Lord who is Adhokshaja, who cannot be understood by logic, who cannot be seen with our material vision. Remember, even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Arjun, you can't see me with these chakshu, with the charma chakshu that you have. So, dadami divya chakshu. What does Krishna give him? Transcendental vision. Okay? It's only when we get scriptural vision, transcendental vision, can we actually see the Lord. Otherwise, we can't see him. And the Munis worshipped him who cannot be seen with material vision, who cannot be understood by speculation, by logic. No. If you want to see God, we can only see him through devotion. We can see him when we surrender. Right? So he is Sattvam Vishuddham. He's not touched by Tamogun. He's not influenced by Rajogun. He's beyond Satogun. Right? So when we approach him, because he is so pure, he purifies us. जब धूप में खड़े होते हैं, right? Sunshine is so pure that it purifies us. एक गंदा कपड़ा, right? If you hang it out in the wind, the wind does not get stinky, but the wind removes the stink from the bad cloth. All these are purifying agents of the Lord. Imagine how purifying he himself is. Right? So he gives us kshema, complete protection, complete peace, and he will drag us towards liberation. So, what did the Munis do? Munis did Shravanam. They did Kirtanam. They followed. They were always aligned with Dharma. They cultivated Bhakti. And so this is what we should be doing. We should by now realize that real peace will not come from possessions or from having busier schedules. Right? We need to drop the unnecessary from our life and follow the path of the old sages. Right? They receive their knowledge from within. They receive protection from within. So if we follow their path, we will also receive. We will be in touch with Sattvam Vishuddha Kshemaya. Clear? Alright, next verse please. Verse number 26. Mumukshavo ghor rupan hitva bhutapati natha Narayanah kala shanta bhajanti hyanasuyavaha. Alright, I know this is a little controversial section. Please listen with an open mind. Okay, this verse is describing the journey of a genuine spiritual seeker. Mumukshavaha. This person is seeking liberation. He's not looking for wealth or power or prestige or, any kind of material boons. Right? He is looking for freedom from bondage. So what does this person do? He lets go of lower worship. He gives up worship of those deities who are associated with material gain. Okay? Who are associated with a lot of rituals, a lot of sacrifices. They're not evil, but they're keeping me engaged in the material world. They're not helping me start thinking of liberation, of moksha. Right? So, when I worship the lower forms, my ego gets strengthened. I become richer, I become more powerful, I get more fame, I get more wealth. So what happens? It is my false ego which gets strengthened. I just read that Avanti Brahman, that Bhikshu Geet, and I think for the first time I understood the term false ego. False ego is a combination of our mind and body. Right? We're so confused, right? Man, buddhi, ahankar. Ye ahankar kya hai? Ahankar is that which confuses my mind into accepting that my body is all in all. And therefore, I develop a lot of pride. Right? So what does lower worship do? When I worship yakshas, right, Kuber, I'm asking for money. When I do all these, you see a lot of people who have occult practices. I had gone to the Kumbh Mela, right, and there you see these sadhus who are doing such ghor tapasya. But what are they doing it for? They're doing it for fame. Then it is not worth it, right? Or then we see so many times, all of us have fallen prey to this, कि कुंडली दिखाते हैं किसी को. We meet an astrologer. An astrologer tells us कि भाई ग्रह दोष है ना, शनि का प्रॉब्लम है, राहु का प्रॉब्लम है, कहीं ना कहीं समथिंग, गुरु की दशा ठीक नहीं है. All of this, we've all fallen prey to this. And we start believing कि that is the reason कि मेरा misfortune चल रहा है, साढ़े सत्ती चल रही है लाइफ में, right? All of this is fear-based worship. So what do we start doing? We start worshipping, Shani Bhagwan. We go start offering something. We'll offer something to a banyan tree. Now, all of this worship is fear-based. Therefore, it is called a lower worship. Or when we pray to different forms of Bhairav, right? We are asking for protection because we have a lot of fear. है ना? या फिर जो तांत्रिक वाला जो काम होता है, we are praying for quick solutions. So when we are looking to get out of fear quickly, or we're asking for something that is temporary, then that is a lower form of worship. Lower form of worship always entangles us. It leads to more fear. It leads to material dependency. Now, every time I want something in my material life, I'll wear one more big khada. Emerald will give me this, ruby will give me this, sapphire will give me this. We've all done it. We've all worn moti, coral, right? Because we all go through that stage in our life. But now when we start looking towards moksha, then the mumukshus, those who truly now want liberation, those who've truly understood कि यार अब है ना exit मारना है, who do they worship? Narayana Kala. Because Narayan Kala is peaceful, sattvic, liberating worship. So that is when we start worshipping different forms of Vishnu, right? Ram, Krishna, Narsimha. Of course, Krishna से ये सब आते हैं. Vishnu is the form that has descended into Satogun, right? But Krishna के different avatars. Vaman avatar, Kurma, Matsya, Varaha, Kapil Dev, right? Whatever. Dattatreya. So all of this, when we start worshipping, right? Most of us have grown up with Lakshmi Narayan or Venkatesh, right? Srinivasa, or Jagannath Ji ka worship, or Vitthal Rukmai, right? All these worships are in Vishuddha Sattva. They lead the soul to moksha. At this point, you're not supposed to ask God for material gain, right? So over here, you're supposed to have those murtis so that you simply look at them and you chant their names. So higher worship takes away our anxiety. Higher worship increases our faith. It says कि ठीक है, जो भी हो रहा है मेरी लाइफ में, मैं कर्म फेड रही हूँ. And you know what? मुझे मेरे कर्म फेडने हैं. इसी लाइफ टाइम में खत्म करने हैं. So I don't want a shortcut solution because I don't want it to go into pending status कि मुझे इसको कल वापस आके फेडना पड़ेगा. मुझे कल आना ही नहीं है. So today, while I've held on to the Supreme Lord, with prayer, with humility, with scriptures, while I'm still chanting, जो होना है लाइफ में हो जाने दो, because I know that He is there to look after me. When I have taken the right shelter, I might as well fedo all my karmas. Right? So those mumuksha, those people who are saintly, who don't want any envy, who don't want any negativity, who want a pure heart, they pray to all kinds of forms of Vishnu. Because now they want to be in Satogun or above. They want to now elevate. And liberation cannot be attained through fear-based rituals. ये करो नहीं तो कुछ गड़बड़ होगा लाइफ में. That is fear-based. And as long as we are doing fear-based rituals, we will never experience peace. Correct? Therefore, Bhagavatam tells us कि अब तुमने भागवत क्यों उठाया है? Because you want liberation. And when you come on to bhakti, bhakti gives you freedom from fear. So then hold on to the Supreme Lord and have faith. But please remember, very, very important, we do not disrespect devatas. We do not criticize people who are doing the other worship, right? But for us, in our particular state in life, like I said, it's not that we've not worn different khadas. It's not that we've not done 1,000 different worships. It's not that we've not gone and begged God for freedom from so many things, right? We've done it all. But now that we understand the higher aim of life, it is very beneficial that we worship the blissful forms of Vishnu and his plenary portions. Narayana Kala, because they are very Shanta. We have to remember that all demigods can give us temporary benefits, not the ultimate one, which is liberation. And therefore, those who want liberation, those who want to move towards Vishuddha Sattva, they have to give up demigod worship. It does not mean disrespect of demigods. आप जरूर उनको जय करोगे, right? You will they are, even our forefathers are so much more accomplished than we are. तो respect सबको देना है, सबके सामने humility से झुकना है, पर जो मांगना है वो विष्णु से मांगो. Because he will only give that which is good for you. He will not give you that which is not good for you. Right? Next verse tells us what do people in Rajogun and Tamogun do. Okay? Not very applicable to us, so we'll quickly do that verse. Rajastamah prakrutayah samashila bhajanti vai पितृभूत प्रजेशादीन श्री ऐश्वर्य प्रजे सवः. So this verse is talking about those people who are driven by Rajogun and Tamogun, right? Their minds are full of desires, full of greed, full of fear, full of unhealthy competition in the material world, right? They worship gods who will give them that, right? So they will worship Pitra, right? Ancestors. Because normally when we worship Pitardev, we pray to them for family prosperity, for removal of all kinds of ancestral obstacles, right? So when we do a lot of Shraddh and Tarpan, similar karmic rituals, okay? That is Pitru worship. Or they will worship Bhume Rapo Nalo Vayu Kham, right? The Bhutas, different spirits. They will worship Prajapati, the Graha Devatas, the Yakshas, right? We're not saying these are wrong. Please remember, we're not saying these are wrong. Only thing is, these are associated with material rewards. Okay? They are not associated with liberation. And why do these people worship them? Because they want Shriya, which is what? Material prosperity. They want Aishwarya, power, influence over others. And they want Praja, children, an expansion of their family. So when I'm looking for material goals, then I worship those deities who can fulfill my material desires. But if I'm a spiritual seeker, then I will worship the leader of Satogun, who is Vishnu. भगवद गीता में भी तो ये सारा कुछ बताया हुआ है ना. कामस्तैस्ते ऋतज्ञानाः प्रपद्यन्ते अन्य देवताः. जिनको बहुत सारी कामनाएं हैं वो अन्य देवता के पास जाते हैं. Monday इधर, Tuesday इधर, Wednesday इधर, Thursday इधर, right? We've all done that. Thursday we fasted for Sai Baba. Tuesday we fasted for Devi Mata. We've all done it. Monday we fasted for Shivji. But धीरे धीरे right? Once we come to a proper understanding, we say, हाँ ठीक है, okay, सब कुछ दे दिया भगवान ने. Now what is it that I want? I want to go towards Him. I want to go back home, back to Godhead. At that time, I say, Bhagwan ji, Ekadashi na, chalo Ekadashi karti hu. Right? So that is all that it is. When we've properly understood, then we need to look at exiting this cycle of birth and death. Okay? All right. So now two beautiful verses come up where Suta Goswami is summarizing everything for us. Okay? Extremely beautiful verses. Please repeat. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makha, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriya, Vasudeva param Jnanam, Vasudeva param Tapah, Vasudevo paro dharmo, Vasudeva paragatihi. These are beautiful verses which tell us one important spiritual truth, that everything we do leads us to Vasudev. Everything in Vedic tradition ultimately points at one goal, and that is Krishna, Vasudev. Okay? So we look at it just in brief because the verses itself say everything. Vasudeva para Veda. Para means, why am I doing something? Why am I studying the Vedas? To reach Vasudev. Vasudeva para Veda. Para means, what is my goal? Right? The Vedas, they contain vast knowledge. Right? Vedas have everything from astronomy to ethics to rituals to philosophy to everything. But after studying everything, the conclusion is one. Vasudeva para Veda. The Vedas center on Vasudev. Right? The Vedas give one ultimate message, and that is know Krishna, love Krishna, serve Krishna. Right? Bhagavad Gita tells us 15.15 Vedascha sarver aham eva vedyo vedanta krid veda videva chaham. Right? Everything in the Vedas have one goal, and that is to take us back to Vasudev. Next line, Vasudeva para makhaha. तुम मखा क्यों करते हो? Makha is yajna. Right? Why do you do whichever yajna that you do? You do it to please Vasudev. Right? All yajnas, all rituals. Unfortunately, we've started doing rituals mechanically. Right? But if you think of every sacrifice, every puja, every festival, every tradition that our family has passed down to us, it keeps God at the center. Right? Every custom, our customs based on, if you're born a Gujarati or a Marwadi or a Maharashtrian or a Punjabi, the customs, they appear diverse, but they all lead us to that Supreme Lord. Right? So whether you're doing big home havan or you're doing japa yajna, why do we do it? To realize that Supreme Lord. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Jo bhi yajna karo, jo bhi tapas karo. Who is the Bhokta? That Maheshwaram. Right? He is the ultimate beneficiary of all our sacrifices, all our austerities. Right? Next, Vasudeva para yoga. Whatever yoga we do, yoga obviously does not refer to our exercise wala yoga. It refers to karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, or bhakti yoga. Whatever form of yoga. Yoga means I'm connecting. Whatever yoga I do, I need to constantly remind myself that the ultimate aim of this yoga is to realize the Supreme Person. I want my consciousness to connect with the supreme consciousness. Right? So whether I'm doing meditation or I'm doing mindfulness, whatever form of practice I take up in my life, it is meant to bring my mind back to Krishna. Remember, people practice a lot of this saying, अच्छा stress चला जाएगा, anxiety चली जाएगी. जब कुछ चला जाएगा तब उसकी जगह में कौन आएगा? The supreme consciousness. So all of this should be done with that in mind. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo mam te me yukta tamo matah. Krishna himself tells us in the Bhagavad Gita that the best yogi is he who is internally always united with me. Right? So all our activities. Next one actually, kriyaha. Kriyaha will talk of activities. Vasudeva para kriyaha. Whatever activities I do, so not just my worship, even in my day-to-day life, whatever work I do, I'm cooking, I'm parenting, I'm going out to earn, I need to have a spiritual center. कर्म करना है तो उनके लिए करो, यज्ञ करना है उनके लिए करो. Which is the verse? यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणो अन्यत्र लोकोयम कर्म बंधनः. Whatever karma we do, we should do it as a yajna, as an offering to Vasudev. Otherwise, we will get bound in this material world. Vasudeva param jnanam. What is the knowledge that I should aspire for? I should aspire for knowledge which will lead me to Vasudev. School, college, masters, PhD, सब कुछ हो गया. Ultimately, the jnana. Remember in the 13th chapter, one of the questions that Arjuna asks, what is jnana? What is the answer? Kshetra kshetradnayor jnanam. Jnana is that which teaches us about our Atma and the Supreme Atma. Atma and Paramatma, that is true knowledge. So Vasudev param jnanam. So jnana is not accumulation of facts. Jnana is that which helps us realize that he is the ultimate source. He is the ultimate maintainer. Right? So all our learning should help us understand that Krishna is my soul's best friend. Surhut. Right? Constantly keeping in mind that I am spirit soul and I have a material body. This material body is constantly changing, but I, the Atma, I am eternal and I have that eternal Paramatma with me. That is Jnana, complete knowledge. Right? And then it says, Vasudeva param tapaha. Why do I do tapaha? Why do I practice austerities? Whether you're waking up early in the morning, right? Or you're going for a yatra, or you're fasting on a particular day, or you have all kinds of different self-control. Chai nahi pee rahi hu, coffee chhod diya. Why are we doing this? Why are we chanting our rounds? Why are people in Scotland waking up at 5 in the morning sitting for a class? Right? All that you do to purify yourself, to please Vasudev. The ultimate aim is Hari Toshanam. Otherwise, Ravan did tapasya, Hiranyakashipu did tapasya, but the aim was all wrong. He didn't think Vasudeva param tapaha. He thought me, myself and I param tapaha. Right? And that is where they fell. Tapasya should be for spiritual elevation. Tapasya should be to please Hari. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva mad arpanam. Whatever you do, offer it to me, O son of Kunti. So, austerity is not meant for ego, for pride. No. It is meant to purify our heart so that when my heart is pure, I'm willingly receiving His grace. Okay? Vasudeva paro dharmo. Why do I practice dharma? To please Vasudeva. Dharma is not rituals, it is not customs. Dharma is living with compassion, living with love, living with bhakti to Krishna. Dharma is seva. We've just studied what is the definition of dharma. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje. Right? So very clearly we've been told that our dharma is to do bhakti to Vasudeva. Right? So Vasudeva paro dharmo. And finally, Vasudeva para gatihi. Meri gati, mera final destination. My final destination cannot be wealth or fame or success. My final destination has to be returning to Krishna. Right? Living in His presence. Where does my soul finally want to go? It wants to go where it truly belongs. Back to Krishna. Right? I will take one more minute. Okay? Vasudeva para gatihi. Write that somewhere in bold. Ki everything that I do, I'm studying the scriptures, I'm doing some rituals, I'm doing some kind of yoga, I work, I practice austerity, I follow dharma. I do all of that because I wanted to culminate in pleasing Krishna, because He is my final goal. And for that, as human beings, we need to remember how blessed we are. Bhagwan Ji has internal energy, external energy. अंतरंगा शक्ति जो भगवान को कभी छोड़ती ही नहीं है ना, उनकी लीलाओं में बड़ी खुश रहती है. बहिरंगा शक्ति जो कभी भगवान की ओर मुंह ही नहीं करती. आउटसाइड प्रकृति. We are so blessed that as Jivatmas, we are Tatastha Shakti. We are sitting at the fence and we are given free will to choose कि भाई मुझे बहिरंगा में रहना है या मुझे अंतरंगा में रहना है. If I waste my life living in this material Bahiranga Shakti, then I will have to come back. Right? If I consciously choose that I want to move from this fence into Bhagwan ki Antaranga Shakti, then He's given me so many literatures. He's given me association. He's given me bhajans. He's given me satsang. Right? So today I pray that this beautiful literature keeps pulling all of us into His Antaranga Shakti and keeps us there. I pray that for us, we constantly remember that everything begins with Krishna, is sustained by Krishna, and culminates in Krishna. Vangmay Mukut Shiromani, Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Thank you all for joining.